Cancelo de la Cruz. Cancelo de la Cruz. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special meeting of the Lawrence City Council. Today is Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Vice President LaPlante.
Here.
Councilor Rodriguez. Absent. Councilor De La Cruz.
Present.
Councilor Payano.
Present.
Councilor Abdul. Absent. Councilor Selena Reyes. Absent. Councilor Anna Levy. Absent. Councilor Estela Reyes.
Present.
President Vasquez.
Present. Please note that this is a special meeting, and given that we will not have any opportunity for public participation tonight, we do have an old business, which is document 25221, representing submitted by the city clerk.
I'd like to make a committee report, please.
Mr. Vice President.
Committee of the Whole send up to the full council the favorable recommendation document number 25221, re-precinct submitted by the city clerk, Diane LeBlanc. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this measure.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made. It has been properly seconded. Mr. Vice President, can you clarify your motion in detail?
So the Committee of the Whole that's in this docket. It has and also the background street listings that are the background and the basis for the map. So it's been brought to the Secretary of State's office, been through our working group in the City Council, the Committee of the Whole, supported this document, and so now it's here this evening, and I ask for its ratification or adoption.
Thank you. Motion has been properly seconded. Any discussion? We do have the city attorney here. I know that she sent an email in reference to tonight's vote. There's something in particular that she mentions, that she cautions the vote to amend City Ordinance 1.12.010, that this should not occur until after the state has approved the map and the legal description, and publication and public hearings has taken place as required under Section 3.8, letter D of the Charter. And this was sent earlier today at 2:14. I don't know if anything has changed after that email was sent to us.
Good evening. No, nothing has changed. I think what I would suggest is that tonight, I think the only vote that should be taken is whether or not this body wants to approve the map that's before it, because I think the next step is really the final step, which will go to the state, and the state will then approve it. So I think it would be premature to take any vote on amending our ordinances at this point, as well as I stated, that there are some procedures that need to be followed under the charter, even if you wanted to amend the ordinance. And I know as of right now, the city hasn't met those prerequisites. So I would advise that the only vote that be taken is whether or not this body wants to adopt the map and send it up to the state for final approval.
Mr. Vice President, do you amend your motion to ensure that that's the language listed as part of the motion?
That is my motion, but for clarifying purposes, if that's useful for this body, that is my motion.
Okay.
So we're just voting this evening, so we're perfectly clear on this map. Clerk?
Madam Clerk?
Mr. President, thank you. If I could, and I appreciate the working group and all of the work that they've done to get to this point. We do have Michael Owens, who is the Secretary of State's representative here, and it's my understanding that what the vote should be is on the re-precincting plan, which includes the map and the supporting documentation, which is the legal descriptions as they currently stand and the block listing, that we need to vote that as a package in order to forward it for the final review and blessing of the Commonwealth. That doesn't preclude us from doing what we need to do to codify this and turn this into an ordinance, and I just want to make sure that's okay with the attorney.
Yes, yep, it doesn't preclude us, but it does preclude it at this meeting. So we can do it at a subsequent meeting if the charter is followed. Just, that was my only caution, is I just wanted to make sure that we didn't try to amend the ordinance tonight, because A, it hasn't been finalized, and B, we have procedures that we need to follow.
Excellent.
Yeah, so my motion is perfectly clear. I'm not looking to amend the ordinance this evening. It's just I'm adopting the map and this background information, and that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Any further discussion? Councilor De La Cruz?
I would like Mr. Owen to explain to us the procedure from now on.
Thank you, Counselor, and thank you, Mr. President, for having me. Thank you, Counselors. Yes, Counselor, so what would happen tonight, if it's the will of the council that you would wish to adopt this map, it would then be submitted by the city clerk to the Local Elections District Review Commission, also known as LEDRC. That is a 3-person commission where the Secretary of State, William Galvin, is the chair. There's also the House of Representative Minority Leader, Brad Jones, is a member, and Beth Wong is an appointee from the Attorney General's office. So it's a 3-member commission. They would, if it's approved tonight by the council, it would go before the LEDRC at the December 10th meeting. And, you know, the LEDRC would look to see that this is a map that complies with the statutory requirements, which this map does. So I don't, you know, I don't want to speak for the LEDRC, but I don't see any reason why they would reject this map. So you have a good map before you that would pass the LEDRC. Once they pass it, the city would then receive notice. And in terms of the ordinance, that's a municipal process. It's a process, you know, within the city of Lawrence, and it doesn't affect our process with the LEDRC. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any other questions that the council may have.
Okay. It doesn't seem like there's any further questions or comments.
Mr. President, if you don't
Mr. Vice
mind,
President?
I just wanted to thank, again, a couple of folks. I want to thank the working group who has been working hard on this. I know that Mr. Soto, Pedro Soto, took the lead, but I will say that a lot of the hard work that took place with Mr. Dan McCarthy, who made himself available to us and was in constant contact with the Secretary of State's office. Mr. President, I think it's important that we do acknowledge the staff, including the clerk, and including the city attorney and others, the mayor's office, as well as your representative at one time, and then the successor mayor. So there's been a lot of people involved in trying to make this good, and I just want to take this moment through you, Mr. President, to thank them. And I also want to thank Mr. Owens. His office has been tremendous on short notice. He's here this evening is to provide any kind of either comfort or question answering by any of us. And he's been nothing, his office has been nothing but a true partner with us as a city council and as a city government. So I just wanted to recognize and thank those people for making this process, even though it's a kind of a weird process this year because of a lot of other dynamics. But I think we are, in a conversation that I had with Mr. Owens earlier, we are way ahead of the curve with respect to other communities and other municipalities, especially when it deals with voter confusion. We have done a very good job to try to eliminate that, what's known as sub-precincting. We've done a tremendous job in trying to reduce that. And that's a testimony to many of our staff who worked hard on this. And so I just wanted to acknowledge them. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Seeing there's no further questions or comments, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilor Estela Reyes.
Yes.
Counselor Anna Levy is absent. Counselor Selena Reyes is absent. Counselor Abdu.
I'm going to pass until the end of the vote.
Counselor Payano.
Yes.
Counselor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Counselor Rodriguez is absent. Vice President LaPlante.
Yes.
President Vasquez.
Yes.
Mr. President, if I may,
Councilor
I don't know if this is a point of personal privilege. May I ask, just for my clarity, what the vote is, as for those at home, I missed the beginning of this.
So we have 5 counselors who have voted yes.
And through you, Mr. President, and this is on the final vote for the plan.
No,
Th-
no, yes. So, just out of clarity, we are not changing the ordinance yet based on the motion presented by Councilor LaPlante. What we voted on is to approve the plan to submit to the state, not to officially change it yet. Because we have not changed the ordinance language. We haven't done that process.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may ask to record my vote based on that information, and now my personal clarification, my vote is yes.
So, Mr. President, that vote is 6 yes and 3 are absent. Mr. President, I would also note that what is required by the Commonwealth is that a particular format certifying this vote, which I have prepared for all of your signatures, does need to be signed tonight if you voted yes before you all leave here. What I will do then is, upon conclusion of the meeting, I will go into my office, I will apply the city seal, and Mr. Owens will leave with it tonight.
Mr. President, I just want to clarify one thing. Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to be clear on one thing, that the plan, given that the council has passed it, it would be submitted to the LEDRC, and once the LEDRC approves the plan, there wouldn't be an opportunity to change the plan at that point. So what I want to caution against is that when you get to the point of amending the charter or creating an ordinance, that would not be an opportunity to change the plan, at least at the state level. And the state level would, the approval of the LEDRC, my understanding, would control. So I just want to be clear on that, that the plan is what is being voted on here, and given that it has passage by the council, it cannot be changed once the LEDRC approves it.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing there's none, we have no further items on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Motion has been made. It's been properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.